All right, y'all, what's going on? We're back with another one. Today we have a SEO expert who I want to introduce you guys to. Let you guys know a little bit about his business and what he does, and see how maybe he can help you guys out there in the marketplace. Okay, so Troy, can you hear me? Okay,
We're good. How's it going?
awesome, awesome, brother, doing good as usual, man. How you doing today?
Doing fantastic. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, anytime, man. It's actually a pleasure.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on here. Like I told you earlier, there's people out there that may need your services, and I wanted to bring you on here and kind of let people get to know you, and let you talk a little bit about your business and things like that. So I mean, first, my favorite question to start it off: why SEO?
Okay, great question. Why SEO? I love that question, actually. I get it all the time. So, SEO, it stands for search engine optimization. For me, my why with SEO was helping people. I was always looking into how can I help someone, and because I know in turn they'll be able to help me get what I want. You know what I mean? So with SEO, I saw the best angle of SEO is helping business owners get more clients. Okay, so ultimately, it's like having the best billboard you could possibly have. And if you think about it now, nobody uses the yellow pages anymore or the white pages.
No.
I mean, not unless they're, senior citizen age, So, I don't even think, because my grandma throws hers away too. So
Exactly,
nobody
exactly.
ever uses those anymore. So if you think about it, we're in a digital age now, and everybody just goes right to their phone. You can
Yep.
pretty much do anything that you want on your phone. And 80% of the time, statistically, what's going to happen is if you're searching for something, I don't care if it's a hamburger or a chiropractor. 9 out of 10 times, you're probably going to look at your phone and search for it.
Yep.
You pull out your mobile device, whether it be your phone or your tablet, and you're going to search for it. And most likely, it's going to be right on Google. A lot of
Exactly.
us just use Google. It's one of the biggest search engines out there, and the most prominent for sure. So it's very trustworthy as well.
Yep.
So with Google, I specialize in SEO for Google for sure. It's like my bread and butter, my wheelhouse. And basically, what I do is I help your clients find your business much easier. Okay, so if you think about it, the last time you went on Google and you were looking for a business, you probably looked at the first page and found something right there and clicked on it, and you didn't even think about going to the second page. Am I right?
Yep. You're
So
absolutely correct.
yeah. So I don't really know too many people that actually search on the second page for anything whatsoever, unless it's just something that you can't find. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's really hard to find, like one of those
Really rare.
rarities. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very very rare. But 9 out of 10 times when you search, you're gonna stop right at the first page, and then everything else is pretty much going with the wind. So for a business that's on the second page, the third page, fourth, et cetera, so forth and so on.
Yep.
They're missing a lot of business.
A
They're
lot of
leaving a lot of
exposure.
money on the table. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. So since they're leaving this money on the table, there's nobody that's going to search for them on these pages. So they're just missing out on business. So what I do is I help those businesses. Even if they're on the first page already, but say they're at the bottom of the first page and they need to bump it up a bit, it's something that I can help with, and it's something I very much enjoy doing, seeing the progress over time. So that's pretty
Nice.
much my why.
Nice, man. And what services? I mean, I know it's SEO, but is there like subcategories in the SEO that you help with?
Yes, great question. So SEO has a lot of variables, I'll say. You have, of course, not only your search engine optimization, but search engine marketing. You also have your social media marketing as well. And then you have to think about all the streaming services as well out there too. They all use SEO. Like even YouTube uses Google,
Yeah.
uses SEO, which is Google
Yeah.
now, so it makes it a little
Yeah.
easier. But even Facebook has SEO algorithms in it with their marketing. So,
Yeah.
any type of social profile that you have, you're using SEO with that. So,
Wow.
with social media. social media is big for SEO. It goes hand in hand. Um, even with Google now, if you even search for something on Google, by the way, with reviews and everything like that, you actually see what your reviews on Facebook are via Google. So
That's
like
true.
it'll pop right up on the profile. So it's all interconnected. So
Wow.
so yes, there are very many facets of SEO for sure.
And how long have you been doing this now?
Okay, great question. So I went to University of Pitt for computer science, actually. So
I don't think I knew that.
a little bit about my background. Yeah. So it's been a long time now, and but fast forward a little bit. I got back into computers. I jumped into sales for a long time. I was
Yeah.
in the car business for a long time. I sold cars at face-to-face sales, and of course, I did some over the phone sales for a long time
Yeah.
as well. And something told me get back out of the car business, get back into the computers. And then I met up with a few people that were actually doing internet marketing. And I played the fly on the wall at a dinner one night and got introduced to some people that introduced me to a mastermind session, which pretty much grew into what it is now, with my
Yeah.
business, Varnado Web Solutions. So um, I've actually had Varnado Web Solutions operable. It's been in operation since 2016, April
Nice.
2016, and we have several clients. We pick and choose our clients, of course,
Yeah.
but we have uh, A+ rating on the Better Business Bureau, along with
Nice.
5-star ratings on Google and Facebook. And actually, in 2017, we won Best of Social Media Marketing on LinkedIn as well. So,
What?
yeah,
Nice.
so there's a few different accolades, not to toot our own horn, but we definitely enjoy what we do here, and it pays off for sure.
Nice. Now
Yeah.
explain to us the process of actually getting somebody to that top
Okay.
of the
Okay.
first page. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you what, man. I have looked at the second page of things now that you kind of like brought it to
Yeah.
my attention.
Right.
Just to put that out there. But other than that, I honestly didn't even ever think about the second page.
I know, right? Yeah. There's not too many people that do, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
so yes, the process is pretty simple. Of course. Well, let's take it from the top with me and of course my business. So you would of course come in through a phone call, site, whatever, we meet face to face, and of course once you review my site, VarnadoWebSolutions.com, you actually see a form on my site as well. Under Get Started, you could click the start button, which is a call to action. We'll talk about more of that.
Yep. Yep.
But we get started, and I have a form that all of my potential clients go through, and of course it's just to make sure that it's not only the right fit for you as a client, but also us as a partnership, because that's exactly what
Exactly.
it is. We work
Yep.
hand in hand with every single one of our clients, and I'm the guy. I
Yeah.
maintain the website, do the web design updates, put the SEO in, so optimize all the on-page stuff, off-page, so citations, there's a lot of stuff there.
Yeah.
But from that point, once of course you complete the discovery form, I'll go ahead and I'll review it along with my team as well, and we'll go ahead and actually provide you with a complimentary analysis. I think you've seen one of our video
I
analysis
have. I
before. You've
have.
had experience.
Pretty
So
cool.
thank you. So a lot goes into those analysis. Those are very in-depth information. It's probably more information than the average person can get from their site just by looking at it.
For sure. You
Of
learn a
course,
lot on it.
yeah, absolutely. So that we're going to show you, where your links are coming from. We're going to show you what's bad, what's good about your website. We're going to show you what the improvements can be, where you might be missing out, where, let's say you have some optimization issues on the front page. We'll tell you how to rearrange those, and some pretty good stuff there. But yes, from that point, once you go ahead and you complete the form, you get your complimentary analysis. Then of course getting started is pretty simple. It's a month to month. If it works out, of course, if we agree to terms and everything like that, and it's a good fit for you as a client, we'll go ahead and work month to month. And generally, my clients are with me for years, so
Of course.
I'm their internet guy, and if there's anything, then I'm right on it. So it's a fantastic thing.
Now,
Yeah.
Now, what's the difference between SEO and just buying some ads?
That's a great question. Okay, so you have two different types. You have organic and you have paid. Okay, so you have paid ads and you have organic ads. Now, there's a huge difference. So you have to think about it like this. Any type of paid ad, you have an auction, right? So there's an auction. Not to mention, you get graded on what you enter into the auction. Okay, so they actually have a page rank for you. So they
And
have
explain a little bit about the auction.
Sure. So it's an auction. So basically, when you go to any Google search, okay, any Google search, when you type in a service, let's say you're looking for a chiropractor or let's say a roofer in West Palm Beach, right? Because that's beautiful West Palm Beach, right? So you're looking for a
We see the
roofer.
palms.
You see the palms, right? So a roofer in West Palm Beach, right? When you type in roofer West Palm Beach, I guarantee the first thing you see, it says in a little box, and they've actually changed the color multiple times because people were skipping over them when they were like yellow
Bro.
and green. Yeah, so they kind of whited them out so they blend in a little bit more. But you'll see the paid ads. So there's up to about 5 of them, I believe,
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
There used to be
Yep.
about 2 or 3, but they've really upped it. And that's what Google's in business for. That's what keeps them in business is the ads.
Yep.
So anyway, with the auction, anybody who submits their website to be a part of the auction, the paid ad, it's called Google Ads or AdWords. Okay, you're probably familiar with that
Yep.
word. All right.
Lost a lot
So
of money on it.
yeah, absolutely. I hear that from multiple clients. You wouldn't believe how many
Yeah,
times.
yeah.
So the thing about AdWords is that it's an auction. So if a
Yep.
site has a better look than yours, if it's optimized better, has a better rating, if Google trusts it more, has a better authority than yours, which is DA or PA, which is domain authority, page authority. If it has these better details and attributes, then Google's going to rank it above yours. But the funny thing about the auction is that if you don't pay for the auction, your ads go away. Okay.
Wow.
So yeah, so think about it like that. If you're not paying to play, they go away. And look, I did a little poetry there. I didn't even plan on it, right? So, so you pay to play or it goes away. That's just how it goes. And of
Yeah, yeah.
course, on the other hand, what I specialize in, of course, is your organic marketing because who
So
wants
that
to
would
build?
be the
Right?
inorganic
That would be
or
paid,
paid
right?
ad.
The
Paid.
paid
Okay.
ad, exactly. That would be paid.
Okay.
So your paid ads. I didn't actually tell you this part, but this is very interesting, and this is probably why it cost you a lot of money and experience. Is because even if they don't buy, you still pay if they click on your ad.
Yep.
Okay, so let's say you're in the dental field or something like that and your ads are $26 a click. Somebody clicked it, 4 different people click it 4 times and didn't buy. You're out of $100 before you even talk to anybody.
Yep.
You see what I
Yep.
mean? So, and that's just on a small scale. I've seen pay per click go to hundreds of dollars. So it's really easy. I mean, you'll be surprised at what these surgeons pay for paid ads. It's ridiculous, and lawyers and everything like that. So yeah, it's a risky game, and
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
the statistical number on that actually right now is about I want to say 15 to 18% of clients or potential customers will click through to your paid ad and actually buy. So
Wow, that's
15 to
small.
18% out of yeah. I mean, how much money are you out just to gamble with 15 to 18%? I personally don't like those odds.
You
You know.
better know how to close.
Right, exactly. Most definitely, because when you get them, they're few far in between.
Yeah.
So with organic ads, okay. Now here's the thing, okay. They both have their pros and their cons, just like anything. It's
Yeah.
just an equal opposite. It's the name of the game. With your paid ads, sure, you'll get customers maybe quicker. Maybe quicker.
Yeah.
But like I said, if you don't pay for the ad, then they'll go away. But the thing about organic, which is of course SEO, optimizing your site the right way so that Google recognizes and respects you and trusts you,
Yeah.
and puts you up at a higher position. The good thing about that is if you don't pay for an ad that month, your site still stays at the top.
Oh,
Okay.
that's
So,
very good.
and I don't know about you, but I don't usually click those ads when I go to something. I go right to
Oh.
where the map is, or I go underneath the map to where all the organic results are. It's just me.
Yeah.
And pretty much I'd say
I do it too.
Yeah, I say about 8 to 10 people. 8 out of 10 people that I talk to actually cut right through there. So, they cut right to the chase. Yeah. So
Nice,
that's the
nice.
difference. Yeah, that's the difference between organic and paid. So paid, it's I'd say more so for instant gratification.
Yeah,
SEO, which is organic, which is an investment. It's long term, but it's worth the long term investment because your ads won't go away. Of course, as long as you have somebody behind it going
of
and
course.
cleaning up and maintaining and everything like that. But the good thing about it is your ROI, which is your return on investment, it'll definitely be much greater with SEO for sure, and just from experience.
Definitely. And how long does it typically take for a customer to start seeing, hey, I'm not on the 10th page anymore. I'm on the first.
Okay, great
Or
question.
what are the factors that go into it?
It's funny, Jordy. I get that question all the time. How long, right? How long? Because as we know, it's not an overnight process, right? So with Google moves very, very slowly. It's like having a brand new website and like trying to sneak your underage cousin into the bar. It's not going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
Google doesn't trust them. Who's this new site? No, he's not old enough. Let's check his
Yeah, yeah.
credentials. So it really depends. It's just like going for to the doctor. Say you have a stomach ache, and the doctor, as soon as you get there, he says he wants to operate. You'll be like, whoa, wait a second.
Yeah.
So it'll throw you for a loop, and you'll be taken aback. So SEO is different for every situation. Every business has a unique situation. Um, First things first, is it a new site? Is it a site that has some age and tenure on the website or on the web? Does it have a ton of backlinks going to it that are spammy or from other countries? Does it have a lot of broken links going to it? Does it have a big competition it's going after? When we talk about the insurance game, imagine the competition that you have there.
Oh, I know.
Even with the web design, there's a lot of different factors that are involved with figuring out how long it's going to take. And also, one thing that I always measure are three things, time, energy, and resources. Okay. So I
Yeah.
always measure the time, energy, and resources because, of course, not everybody can invest for as long as it takes. So that's why, of course, the initial contact that we have with the discovery form, it just makes so much more sense because we want you to be fully prepared for the ride, and
Yeah.
of course, make sure that you make the most of your investment for sure.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
And when talking about SEO, um, what are some challenges that you feel like you've had in the industry that you've kind of learned from,
Okay.
to help make you a little better?
Challenges. Okay, great. Um, Man, there's so many with SEO. There's so many challenges.
I
Um,
bet.
yeah, you have algorithm changes. That the first thing that comes up, it's algorithm
That's
changes.
true. Yep.
Google, I'll tell you, and they won't use this word, but this is how they feel. They hate SEOs. Just
Yeah.
it is what it is, and I'll tell you why. They hate SEOs because we keep money out of their pocket because we take away from their paid ads.
Really? Oh, yeah.
So when
Wow.
you think about it, I understand why they hate us. It makes complete sense. But at the same time, they're not going to tell you how to beat them. you know
Exactly.
any type of training from SEO for Google, it's going to be something to get you in their good graces, but not at the top of their list. So
Yeah.
the top of their list, what they want you to be in is paid ads. So what they do is they change the algorithms quite often. I mean, there's
Wow.
just for a resource for your listeners, there's something called Mozcast, and it's M like Mary, OZ, CAST, and it's like and that's .com, Mozcast.com, and it's like a weather forecast for SEOs. And what it does is actually shows Google's algorithm changes, and you'll see it change just like the weather every single day. It's always something new.
Wow.
So yeah, Google always changes everything. Hopefully it's not too drastic, but staying on
Yeah.
top of that is probably one of the biggest challenges. The second biggest challenge, and I'll leave you with that because there's so many, is negative SEO. Okay, so you have negative SEO. If you don't clean up your tracks as a marketer, then people go ahead and they want to kind of send negative things your way, like I mentioned before, like spam links and everything like that. They can direct them at your site, and then you have to clean them up, disavow them, and everything like that. So there's a few little tricky things, and I say every challenge is definitely a learning experience.
For sure.
It's definitely a learning experience. So I appreciate that question.
Now, what has been probably your hardest case when dealing with a client? Like, what kind of things do you usually see when, you get on a website, you took on this client? Because I mean, you showed me, or I don't know if you've talked to me about certain websites and things like that you showed me before and after. But what are some things that you see in your line of work where you're like, wow, this is going to take a lot of work?
Great question. So there's something called, there's two things that take the most time. All right. You have businesses that have multiple locations and services. I'll tie those two together. Okay. Yeah. So businesses with multiple locations and services. Okay. Because you have to think about it. Not only do they serve West Palm, but they also serve, other counties as well, the surrounding areas. You have Boyne, you have Boca. I'm talking about locally. You could be in LA listening to this right now, and you have other counties around there as well. So it's the same thing. But you have your locations, and then you have your services. So if they rank, or I'm sorry, not if they rank, if they offer other services besides, like say you have, let's say you have a auto client, somebody in the auto industry. Okay. Now, say they have a shop that not only offers body work, but they offer paint as well. Okay. So are you going to be able to have your site rank for body work or paint or both? Okay. And I'm only using that as one example because I have clients that, and I'll use an example as well with one of my clients. I won't give the name of my client, obviously, but it's a beauty school, and they offer cosmetology, and they offer aesthetics, they offer massage therapy. Sorry, you can see the helicopter back here. Okay.
That's a whole job.
Hold on one second. Sorry about that. It sounds a little like a little gradient on your way. Like a little.
It sounds good. It sounds good.
I sound okay because coming through my end, you don't sound as well. You sound a little choppy.
No, you're all right.
Oh, there it goes. Okay, very well. All right. So we're
talking about the different services.
Yeah. So with the different services. So for instance, I have a client that has they teach cosmetics, they teach aesthetics, they teach massage therapy, along with hairstyling and barbering. So imagine, you can't just rank one of their pages for all of these different things. You have to treat every single page and every single service like its own project. Okay. Wow. So yeah, it's
now why is it so complicated though? What does the ranking have to do with it? Like,
okay.
You get my question? Like, why does each service make it so complicated to rank?
Okay, great question. You have different competition in different niches. Okay, so there's different competition levels in different niches. So you have different services that are in higher demand than others, and you have more authoritative websites ranking for these keywords. When I say keyword, I'm talking about what you would type into the search box. Okay.
Auto, paint.
Right, exactly. So you would say automobile paint shop in West Palm Beach. That's a big keyword, right? That's a big keyword. So whoever ranks in the top 5 for that, or even in the top 3 in the map pack, is usually going to get the first business, right? Okay. So whoever ranks for that particular keyword set is going to be, the one that the customer finds the easiest. Okay. So then it really depends on, them for the close, so once they have the customer, it's out of your hands. It's, it's there. But, that's the importance of actually ranking for a particular keyword. You can rank for what are called long tail keywords too, which could be, what's the best automobile shop in? So you can search for these different things. And of course, each and every one of these different things is going to have a different competition. Okay, we actually call it KD. It's keyword difficulty, and that actually measures the competition between two websites, and of course, them trying to rank a particular word or a keyword
Wow.
set, which is also known as
And
an inquiry. Yeah.
and how do you see a keyword difficulty? You have pretty much software and things like that?
Yes, yes. Thank goodness. Thank goodness I have software for that, for sure. There's a number of tools that I actually use. Moscow's obviously is one to check the algorithms, but there's a number of different tools that we use. Just to name a couple of the mainstream ones. And if there's any other SEOs out there that are listening right now, you can
Probably
appreciate.
will be. Probably
Yeah,
will be.
I'm sure there will be, and salute to you guys. But I won't, of course, give my particular tools that I use
Yeah,
prominently. My main tools, but
of course.
I do use tools like SEMrush and of course Ahrefs, and there's a few different ones that I definitely use. And what these actually do is they explore your site. You can do a full analysis on these sites. They are actually paid memberships. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm not talking $20 a month. I'm talking a couple $100. Okay,
Wow.
so these are definitely sites that you can go to and do a full analysis on your website, and also the competition. You can see where links are coming in from everywhere in the world. You can even see where people are clicking in the most, on your website, the most visited pages on your
Wow.
website, how long they've stayed there, so forth and so on. There's a lot of different information. You can get really granular. So.
Wow. Now, what are you actually doing to get me to #1 on the page?
Great question. So that goes back into the process, right?
Yeah.
So in order to get you to rank, I have to, of course, make Google trust you. All right. So, and I'm just using Google. Bing's a similar process as well. These
Yeah.
are like the two biggest besides Yahoo. So I have to make Google trust you. And in order to do that, you have to, of course, have a surrounding of trustworthy sites. So let's just play a hypothetical scenario. I use this all the time. So let's say you're an up and coming musician, right? An up and coming musician, or an actor for any, or actress for the ladies on here. Okay, so
Nice. Nice.
let's say you're an up and coming actress, right? And you want, of course, be how do I say, may have a name made for yourself, right?
Yeah.
The best way to do that is what? A referral, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you get a referral. I mean, even with what you do, the best,
Exactly.
your foot in the door, a warm lead is a referral, right? It's the best
Exactly.
one you can get, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think it's actually the best compliment. Okay, sorry about that. So
No worries.
I have babies here as well. So the best compliment you can give somebody is a referral, right? So let's say, for instance, you're an up and coming actress, and you have let's say, who's a great woman actress right now that's big, let's just think
I
of one.
couldn't tell you. I couldn't
Yeah,
tell you.
let's go with Selma Hayek or somebody. I don't know. I had a crush on her since I
Yeah.
was a
Yeah.
kid.
Go.
You know what I mean?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, let's say you had her and Angelina Jolie, and then what's her name? I can't think of the girl from Friends. I can't think of her name right now. My girl's gonna kill me because I can't think of that. So yeah, let's just say you had these three ladies tweet
Yeah.
about you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say they had a tweet about you, and they say, "Oh, such and such is a wonderful actress. She's up and coming. You guys check her out. Here's her info. Boom," and they put it out there, right? Do you think that this new up and comer is gonna start trending or no? Most likely,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
likely,
For
yeah,
sure.
because everybody trusts somebody who's already successful and has some authority,
For sure.
right? So it's like they're in the club and they're getting you into the club by introducing you to the owner.
Yep.
Okay. Now, the thing with Google is they need more than just one, good word or a referral. They don't accept just having your word for it. Or, hey, this is a good person. No.
Yeah.
Because they'll look at it like this. They'll say, hey, this is a powerful site. Like, wait a second. You know, let's manually check your stuff and see why you're getting this powerful site. When your site's not that old, we don't know who you are. There's nobody ranking to you. You know, they're going to check your credentials. Definitely check your background on your site. All right. So the process is like this. You start off and you need to optimize the page first. You have to. You have to make the page say where you want it to rank for, or say what you want it to rank for, because you're not going to rank, you know, this sounds pretty stupid, but I've seen some pretty stupid stuff. I hate to use that word, but I've seen some pretty stupid stuff. You know, you can't have a chiropractor site rank for, what did I see? I think he had something about a coffee shop or something, and it was ranking more than a coffee shop. I'm not going to put any names out there, but the coffee shop line actually ranked more than the actual chiropractor in a particular city. It was weird, you know.
Wow.
So you can see some pretty crazy stuff.
So what, they were mixed? It was like a coffee shop chiropractor?
No. It was all right. So you can search coffee shop in West Palm Beach or something like that. I'm not even using the city. I don't want anybody to even search. You know, but let's say you have a small story about, hey, you're leaving the coffee shop or whatever, and I think it was like a small story or something like that, and then it tied that particular keyword with the location from another paragraph. It does that.
Oh,
so
wow.
It ties it from different parts of, So yeah, you can definitely get your lines crossed if you don't have the proper structure on page.
And that would be negative SEO.
That would be negative for you. Yeah, negative SEO is something else that somebody else does to you. Yeah, we'll come back to that for sure. I'll definitely touch back on that. So I try to stay away from the negative stuff, you know. The first part in the process, of course, after doing a full analysis, obviously, is doing the on-page stuff. You know, you want to make sure that your on-page is top tier. You got to make it say what you want it to rank for. So if you wanted to rank for a chiropractor in West Palm Beach, you need to have it talking about chiropractic stuff in West Palm Beach. You need to be talking about back pain. You need to be talking about all this kind of stuff, you know, neck pain or whatever you have, adjustments and everything like that. Okay. Yeah. You need to talk about this stuff on your website, and also you need to use the location that you want to rank for. Generally, unless it's like a nationwide site, and then you can be as general as you want. You know, a lot of times in healthcare, you see it general and they don't have a particular city. But if you have like a specific service, they're going to have you in a particular location, you know. So let's say you even have a restaurant in a city somewhere. You make sure that you have it as restaurant in city, you see. So you want to have this in here. All right. But not only that, you want to make sure that you have the proper structure on your website as well. You got to make sure it's easy to read. You got to make sure it's called UX UI. It's user experience and interaction. So you have to make sure that when a person comes to your site, they have a way to buy. I can't tell you how many times I've been to a site and there's no call to action. I'm like, wait a second, I want to buy, take my money. Where do I click? There's nowhere to click, you know? So you're like, wait a second, let me call somebody. Oh, where's the number? You know, so there's a lot of stuff that's not on the site that you need to make sure there is. And we use something in citations all the time called NAP. It's name, address, and phone number. You need to have this everywhere on your site. The basics, right? The basics. And you'd be surprised. How many people don't have the basics on the site. I know it sounds really elementary, but it's easy to overlook this stuff, especially if you've been in business for 20 plus years. You're not looking at something from, you know, the early 2000s on your website. Some of those sites are old as that, you know, so you have never even know. So it really depends. But from the on-page stuff, to kind of make a long story short, this is like the location in your map. Okay, it's where you want to load up the rocket ship and put the destination to. All right. Yeah. So whatever you want to rank for, make sure you have it the proper structure on page. There's a lot of other elements, including like titles, tags, anchor text. There's a ton of other stuff that we can get into. It's really much more technical, but I'm going to leave it as basic and seamless as possible right now. Okay. But from the on page, then you go into off page. Okay. You have to go into citations. You have to make sure that your name, address, and phone number for your business is all over the place. I'm talking about Yelp, Hot Frog, Foursquare. You need to be all over the place. Okay. And then from that point, you need to have as many social profiles as you can. I'm giving you some sauce right now. Okay. You really want
Bombs.
to, yeah, man. So yeah, some of you SEO guys out there, this has definitely helped me out a lot, and I hope it helps you. And even just your regular business owner guys out there, and girls especially, utilize this information. There's sites out there. There's one called Namecheck that you can go to. It's namechk.com. Namecheck.com, and it's kind of like a Jeopardy board. I think I've actually showed this to you before, and it pops up. You put in your screen name. The first thing you want to do, obviously, when you're building social profiles, is you want to brand. You want a brand.
Yeah.
Okay, a brand is something that people know you by. So if you're looking for something, people want to have your service and your brand go along with it. Okay, so if you're thinking of a service, think this particular brand. That's where you want to be when it comes to customer interaction. Okay, so go to namecheck.com as when you're starting your socials, and then you can actually put in your brand name, and you put in your brand name. Let's just say I'll use yours for now, the health insurance guy. That's what I see right now. So you would go to namecheck.com, put in the health insurance guy. If it's not too long, sometimes screen names are too long. They're kind of weird like that. But you put in your screen name and then you hit enter, it'll pop up all these different sites. It's kind of like a Jeopardy board when it pops up, the Daily Double. So it pops up, and then you click on a particular site, and it actually tells you before you click on anything, it tells you all the other sites that are available for you to claim. So look at it as your digital real estate. Okay, so you want to brand as much as possible. You have to claim as much digital real estate, as possible. Okay,
Nice.
so basically, if you have your site here in the middle, okay, and I'll cut it short after this because we're getting really technical now. Okay, so for the SEOs out there, I'm not getting technical. This is like elementary stuff. Hopefully, they all know, But when you get into your site, you have your site here at this point. Okay, then you start to build these sites around your site. Okay, and they all start to link not only back to your site, but even some of them may or may not link together. I'll leave that to you. Okay. That's another little bit of sauce for you. Okay. So you can definitely create this surrounding of social profiles. And if you think about it like this, right? Do you think Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, do you think these are powerful sites?
Yeah, of course.
Most definitely, right? Okay. Do you think Google trusts these sites?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you think it would be in your best interest to make sure that you have these profiles set up and linking back to your particular homepage? It would be right,
That was my next question too. How important do you see for a business to have, all these social media sites? Because I'm sure you ran through customers that say, hey, I don't want to make that social media profile and things like that.
You have to. You have to. No, it's no question for my clients. It's a requirement. It's a requirement. Wow. Yeah, because if not, they're leaving money on the table, and I refuse to have them do that to themselves.
Yeah, for sure.
The reason being is because these websites are so big and trustworthy that everybody looks at. They're looking for them now. I mean, even if you go to a marketing meeting right now, like let's just say you did some. I don't know, like a Chamber of Commerce or a BNI meeting or something like that, and you meet somebody new, right? Let's just say we have a marketing event and you meet somebody new. What are they asking for? They're going to ask for your website, or they're going to ask for your social media. A lot of times
nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, even some of my single friends that go out and they still are in the dating world, they'll have girls and they're like, hey, what's your IG?
Before they get the number.
Before you get the number, you're getting the IG, that's just, so it is what it is. So it's imperative, it's just, there's nothing more important than, there's some things, but it's one of those many important things that you just got to have. It's a requirement to have social media set up the proper way, and also to have them available to your customers to make sure that they link to them, right? Like say, for instance, you have I just name some opportunities here. You have a social profile. The social profile, you have a description. The description can have your keyword in it that you want to rank for about your business. It also has your brand name in it. And then where does it link? It links back to your website. why wouldn't you want to have it? You know, let's say you had a page that you wanted to like a what do they call that? Let's say you had a page that you want people to actually land on, a landing page, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you want this page to be your sales page. Why not have it on your social profile? You know, so, or have the main site that you know, we can get into it like, you know, with different tricks to actually have ranking, but you know, have your ranking for that. But it's definitely important, and having those social profiles available on your website. I don't care where they could be, on the top, they could be in the bottom, in the footer section, they could be on a widget that goes on every single page, preferably. You know, you want to have these social profiles, you want to have the main ones, and I'll give those for your audience. Actually, the main ones that I would recommend, okay, are of course Facebook.
This is gold. This is gold.
Number one is Facebook. Okay, so you want to have a website, and then you want to have Facebook. That's number one. Number two, you want to have your LinkedIn.
And let me stop you.
Right?
And you're going in this order because you obviously know that these sites are being searched for. Correct?
Yes. Yes. So these sites are the sites that are going to have the most authority. Okay. Unless, I mean, you can even well, let's come back to Google. Google loves Google, so we'll come back to that with what I mean by that. All right. So you have Facebook, you have Instagram, and LinkedIn. Okay. Now you also have YouTube, which a lot of people forget about. Right. YouTube is actually Google as well. Right. So then you also have, did I say Twitter yet?
No.
I think, all right. So we have 5. All right. So you have,
I got them all. I got them all.
Perfect. Yeah. So you have your Facebook and Instagram. They go together now. That's why you can message between them. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have Facebook and Instagram, and then you have your YouTube and LinkedIn, and then you have your Twitter. Okay. And it doesn't matter what order you have these in on your website. Just get them done. I don't care what order they're in. It doesn't matter. Google doesn't care as long as you have them. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah,
now,
you can.
Now, what were you going to say about the Google? Which I think I know which direction you were going into. The Google My Business. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah. So they did away with
that?
Yeah. So I'm trying to think of what there was that they did away with recently. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I have to look. But you can actually have a Google business site. Okay. I'll give you guys a hint. I would recommend setting up your Google My Business, especially if you have. It doesn't even matter if it's a new business or not. If it's an older business and you're not set up on Google, call me and I'll help you right away. Okay, because you should be set up on Google. You should have been a long time
gold.
ago.
When you told me about that,
yeah,
it was a game changer for me.
All right. So GMB for short, Google My Business. All right. As I said before, Google loves Google. They love Google. They trust Google, and who wouldn't trust themselves, you know, especially when they have a business. So you have Google My Business. Google My Business actually allows you to make a Google website your brand. Okay. So you can actually have my business site your brand, which is basically google.com.
Yeah.
So what'll happen is, of course, when you're setting up this GMB profile, which is Google My Business profile, you have to verify it with a postcard and everything. Sometimes it takes up to 2 or 3 weeks. It really depends. But once you verify the profile and the location and everything like that, Google, of course, you send them the code and everything. They set you up a profile. And then once you set up this profile, you'll go ahead and enter your NAP, right? You enter your name, address, phone number, all that good stuff. From there, you can actually put in your business hours, and then you can actually create a Google website. Okay, so Google will actually give you a website included for free. All right, it's just up to you, or your SEO or your web marketer, to go ahead and fill that in for you and make sure it's optimized and, of course, accurate, because you definitely want to have it accurate. All right.
Yeah.
From that point, you want to make sure that you're having posts every single month. Okay. So I'll give you a little piece of something when you get into your Google My Business, because you should be utilizing this if you have a business. Google allows you to make posts just like on Facebook.
I didn't know.
Okay. Yeah. So just like LinkedIn, just like Facebook, just like Instagram, you can make a Google post.
And a lot of people don't do that, bro.
No, they don't.
A lot of people don't make posts on their Google, because I've seen a lot of businesses, 1 or 2 pictures and like nothing. And these
and
are
they're
well-known
missing out.
businesses.
They're missing out. I swear they're missing out. You can actually see some of the analytics that came back. I saw over 90% of people that are searching see that post. Okay.
Wow.
So you're gonna get it seen regardless. Okay, you're gonna get that post seen. So this is definitely gonna help your business if you're on Google and you have the My Business set up. If you don't, like I mentioned before, I'll be happy to help with it. But from that point, make a post and put in your website and also a call to action. All right, you have to put in the description, an event, a date, and a call to action. Call to action, I'm talking about a way to buy or a way to contact you.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you have to. All right. But from that point, you use those posts, and I probably do those posts. I probably do at least once a week. For my business, depending upon what kind of business it is. Some businesses you can do, 2 a month, every 2 weeks or whatever. Some
Yeah.
businesses you should do it every other day. Some businesses
Wow.
once a week is sufficient. So it really depends. But if you're a business like a restaurant or something like that, and you have a daily special or something like, I
That'd
would
be
do it.
great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you have a nightclub or something like that, and hey, I would have a post because you're gonna have special. Let's say we have an event this week or something like that. So you
Yeah.
definitely want to utilize Google Posts for sure.
Definitely. Definitely. You definitely gonna have to show me how to do that later.
I
I'm
got
slacking, man. I'm slacking. All right. And
you.
what's one question that would help your clients or your potential clients or people that would maybe want to use you in the future that I didn't ask you that you would want to go ahead and share some knowledge with them? Maybe anything I missed with your particular service that would help a client that maybe I didn't ask you.
Okay, great question. So the question that I would ask any potential client, it doesn't matter, what their level is in business. Okay, they could be just starting out, it could be mom and pop, or it could be a corporate business. It doesn't make a difference. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always going to ask, do you have the time and do you have the budget? Okay, because these are very, very important. Okay, because of course, as you know, SEO is not an overnight process. It's
No,
the long haul, but it is worth it. Okay, of course, it's definitely worth it in the long run. But I also asked about the budget, and the reason I asked about the budget is because, of course, depending upon your business, it could be a very lucrative opportunity for you come ROI.
yeah,
Okay. So when I say, do you have the time and do you have the budget? I'm saying this because yes, it's not an overnight process and I'm not the cheapest by far, but I'm going
yeah,
to blow it out of the water for you every single time.
for sure, for
Okay.
sure.
So yes.
Awesome. And I want to go now into a little bit of about how you grew up, childhood, and things like that. So, I mean, just take it back as far as you remember. How was your life kind of like growing up?
Great question. Yeah, great question. So, from New Jersey originally, a pretty crappy town in New Jersey. Excuse me, for anybody that's from there, they know I'm from Trenton, New Jersey. Not the best city in New Jersey. If you're not from there, if you don't know anybody, I wouldn't recommend going there. It's just how it is. I only go to visit family, and that's in the springtime or the summertime because I don't like the cold anymore.
I hear
So
you. I hear you.
that's why I'm in Florida now. But from New Jersey, we moved around a lot. My parents separated when I was really young. I'm talking about like 2 or 3 years old, and we moved around a lot from like New Jersey to Pennsylvania down to Maryland. And when we got to Maryland, we spent a lot of time in Maryland. We started elementary school in New Jersey, and of course some in PA. But started like middle and high school in Maryland, and then I went to college in PA, which is University of
Nice.
Pitt, right? It's like 5.5 hours away from my house, and it was up in the mountains. So it's like, yeah, they don't care if it's 5 feet of snow on the ground. You go to class. I don't care if you fell. It doesn't matter. All right, you fell on the ice. You go to class. It doesn't matter. Okay, so. From there, I spent a few years at University of Pitt, and then I got out of there, and I didn't know what to do but sell. Like I grew up in the car business. Like my mom and her husband at the time were in the car business, and all through high school, even the end of middle school, I spent damn near all day at the car dealership when I got out of school. So I
Wow.
was around sales all day long, just listening to people, listening to objections. Okay, I hear a ton of objections. You can imagine it's a car dealership, so you see a ton of different stuff, a ton of different people,
Yeah.
characters for sure. So,
Yeah.
I had a lot of experience, being around different cultures and everything in the car dealership. But from there, uh, in Maryland, I was actually selling cars, and then I got into started getting back into the computers, and I had an opportunity to help a family member move to Florida and Jacksonville actually, and I helped them move to Florida, and I actually helped with the moving, the heavy lifting, the truck, and all that kind of stuff. So I took that long ride down here. I think it was 16 hours, 17 hours, or something like that, and
Yeah.
we had the
About
moving
that.
truck, yeah, something like that, and we had the moving truck, and get down here, get all unloaded. I stayed for like 3-4 days, and I fall in love with it. I love Jacksonville. I love Jacksonville, and yeah, I fell in love with Florida. And then fast forward a little bit, actually I moved to Jacksonville. I went back, and then I got my stuff, and then I came back to Jacksonville, and then I stayed in Jacksonville for a couple years, and I was actually selling. I got back into the car business there. I was actually I hate to say, I was actually in the RV business too. I was doing some like some,
What?
so yeah, RVs.
Wow. How
So
was
yeah,
that?
it was the whole nother ball game, man. Whole nother ball game. So yeah, it's whole different clientele, whole nother ball game. It's still sales, don't get me wrong, but a whole
Yeah.
different clientele. So I learned a lot about that though. I learned a lot of, actually that helped me a lot when I moved to West Palm Beach. So when I moved to West Palm Beach, I got back into the car business while I was still, messing around with computers on the side. And fast forward a little bit, I told you I finally get to West Palm. I love West Palm even more than Jacksonville. Like it was like
Yeah.
night and
Yeah.
day. Actually, it was kind
Yeah.
of crazy. So I'm like, man, I love West Palm. I'm not going anywhere now. I got down here. I threw my shovel away. I'm done. I'm done with the snow. So yeah, I'm in sales now. I can, it was sink or swim, sink or swim. I'm used to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But from that point, I met a few guys that were where I wanted to be. These guys were where I wanted to be, and I started to listen and figure out exactly what they were doing, and it was right up my alley with marketing and helping people, and that was the main thing that really drew me into internet marketing and SEO was help. Like how can I be of service to other people, to be of service to myself, because I
Yeah.
know that if I help somebody get what they want, ultimately they'll help me get what I want. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
So if I help you build your business, then ultimately I'm going to get something from it. I'm going to get compensated for it, and so forth and so on. So it just
Yeah.
kind of goes hand in hand. So my thing is, how can I help? Like,
For sure.
what's the best way that I can help your business grow? And I was looking at that, and it just so happened to be, where's everybody looking for business? Google, right on their phone. So why not figure out how to, how that's actually happening? And I started to look into it, and then fast forward a few years later and a few clients later, and here we are. So yeah.
And what's one
But
what's one thing in business that you didn't expect happening to you?
mm, that's a good
One
question.
thing
So
in your business and your venture that you didn't expect happening.
okay, one thing in my business and my venture, in the SEO business, probably the caliber of people that I'd be able to meet. Okay, so from all walks of life as well, because I've met some people in my line, not necessarily in my line of work, but through my line of work in
Yeah,
different niches
that's
that
true.
don't look like anything that they are. And one thing I definitely learned was like you can't put anything past anybody,
Yep,
because you can never judge a book by its cover. Most
for
definitely
sure.
cannot. It
For
can look
sure.
like the most minor thing, and it could be major behind that cover. So you never know. So the people that I met when I first got into the business, it really ingrained into me, like, don't put it past anybody. Like that guy
For
right
sure.
there asking you for something to put in his cup could be waiting for you to put something in his cup so he could fill yours.
For sure.
So you never know. So
Now, talking about that guy, that might be asking for something with that
Yeah.
cup, what's one tip you would probably give to that person? Maybe that person that doesn't have the money or the budget to, you know, to hire you for you to help them with their services. What are maybe a couple tips that would kind of help them? I mean, you've dropped a lot of knowledge, right? But maybe one or two tips to kind of help them, maybe do their own SEO, because I mean, you've given me, a couple tips, and I know, I know where you were going with that, but maybe one or two tips that would help that person with the cup that maybe has a website.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, great question. Great question. So, first couple things. First thing that would be the easiest for you to do is rewind the video.
A lot of knowledge here, a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, rewind the video. Go over a couple things. I'll mention again. First things first is making sure that you have a website. Okay. Making sure that it is up to snuff. Okay. Making sure that it looks good and presentable. One thing that I would recommend you do is go to like a website like apple.com or one
That's
of
it
these.
right there.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
So
it.
I
I
would
did
recommend.
that.
Yeah.
Game changer. I
Yeah.
didn't know what I was doing. You gave me that tip. I was like, yo, I saw it. I saw it.
Yeah. So let's say, for instance, like anytime you look at a business, right? You're like, wait a second, like, is this good enough for Apple? Like, is this good enough? Like look at it like that. Like, does this look sleek enough? Does it look like we're in 2021, man? Like, does this look modern, or does it look like something from the 90s? Like, was this made on a Commodore 64? Like, you probably don't even know what the hell that is.
I know.
Some of the older guys out there, like, some of the older guys, I get with that. But yeah, like you got to make sure that your website is really up to
That's
par.
gold.
It's got
That's
to be.
gold.
Yeah. So
And
go and compare it.
and actually, when I did that comparison, like it doesn't even seem like these big name websites are that complicated.
They're
They're the
not.
most simplest things. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yeah.
But it
Simplicity
makes a
is key.
huge difference.
Yes. Simplicity is key. That's what I'm saying. So it's simple. Keep it simple. Just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be all drawn out and complex. It could be a few words that get right to the point. What do you do? Where are you? Who are you? Help you buy. That's it. It could be that
Yes,
simple,
sir.
and you'll get somebody to click through right away. You gotta think about it. The attention span of people these days is what, a few seconds. So what would we say? 15 seconds or so. If you don't get them in the first 15, I'd say 8 seconds. Actually,
But
I'll drop a stat on you. Okay, before we go, I'll drop a stat on you
boom.
actually. So when people come to your website, right? When people come to your website, one thing that I do when I optimize the website is optimize page speed. Do you know why?
Yeah, you told me basically if it's too
Yeah.
slow, I'm gonna get off.
Exactly. Let's think like if you go to a website right now and you want to order something to eat, and you click on the website and it takes 5 seconds.
I'm done.
You're done, right? Exactly. Do you know that Google actually, and I'll give you guys this now, you can actually go to Page Speed Insights. There's another one for you guys. Google.com, go to Google Page Speed Insights. You can run a page speed test on your website. Okay, so you go to Page Speed Insights. You can run a page speed test on your website. Okay, cool thing about Google is they tell you a bunch of stuff to do. You can actually fix it, or you can hire somebody to do it. Hint, hint. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But from that point, make sure that your website is definitely up to snuff and optimized. Make sure it loads fast. Make sure it says what you want people to buy or want it to rank for. Okay. From that point, you make sure that your information, make sure that you're easily accessible no matter what. Make sure that they know the brand name, the phone number, and where to find you. Okay. So those are just a couple things from the gate
Yeah,
that
and
you need
those
to
are
make
the
sure you have up.
basics. Those are the
Yeah.
basics because like I've made my own website and the back end of it is so complicated that I left it alone. I mean, there's probably so much things I haven't even done on my website. Like it's just all the superficial on what you see, but the back end of it for anybody making their own website, even with these like make your own website sites like
Builders.
I
Yeah.
did,
Mhm.
yeah, like there's still so much things on my site on the back end that I haven't even touched.
Oh, you'll
You
get
know what I
lost.
mean?
Yeah, it's
You
easy to
get
get lost.
lost.
Yeah, and
So
be very careful doing it yourself as well, because if you click the wrong thing, or even if
oh
you have
yeah.
a plugin out of date, like I had a client last month that website crashed because a plugin went out of date. I had to actually just kill the whole plugin and actually rebuild some portions of the website for it to function properly. So there's things out there, like if you accidentally change a portion of the script, it'll crash your whole website. If you move something, there's a lot of different stuff. It's very touchy when you get in behind the back end of your website dashboard. So
No, I know. I
yes,
mean, even
yeah.
even with all the tips that you practically gave us in the last hour, I still have so much other things to do that
Mhm.
you're gonna be working on them for me. So
Sure.
yeah, guys, it's definitely not something that. Yeah, I understand there's website builders, but that's literally just what you see. There's still so much on the back end that Troy, an SEO expert, still has to do, right? So definitely a lot of knowledge you gave us here, man. Now before I let you go, just a couple little funny questions, right? That I
Sure.
gotta ask all my guests, right? So my favorite one, if you had one meal that you had to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Oh man, that's a tough one, man. All right. All right, that's a tough one right there. Let's go. All right, because I'm vegetarian now. Right, so it's
Come
tough,
on,
man.
man.
Yeah, I've been vegetarian for about
A
6 years
lot,
now.
a lot that I learned on my way of eating, guys. I got it from this guy, and then I just implemented on it. You screwed my life up, man. You screwed my life up.
Hey, you got to destroy to rebuild, right?
I
So
definitely did.
yeah, so with me, every single day I could probably eat quinoa with peppers, man. Yeah, quinoa
You
with
ain't
peppers.
lying. A
Yeah,
little bit of
quinoa with peppers.
avocado.
Hey man, hey, most definitely quinoa with pepper. Hey, I'll put you on to the coconut aminos too, man. It's like soy sauce, man. You put that on there, whew, that's some good stuff, man. So yeah,
For real, for
quinoa
real.
with peppers. Even some sliced portobellas in there too. I go for that. So
Nice, nice.
yeah,
And
man.
what's your favorite childhood memory?
Oh man, favorite childhood memory. Let's see. Hmm. Uh, Man, this one threw me for a loop. That's a great question. Let's see here.
Make you think, make you think.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Best
And don't
childhood.
don't don't keep my viewers waiting too long either.
Yeah, no. I would say probably learning how to swim.
Yeah?
Learning how to
Nice.
swim. What my dad did to me, and rest in peace, my dad. But
Oh,
he actually had me hold on to his back. Okay, he would have me hold on to his back and hold my breath, and I was probably 3, 4 years old, and
what?
we would go to a pool in New Jersey. And I went by that pool last winter actually when I was
Yeah.
in Jersey. I went to visit during the wintertime. Don't ask me why. I had family gathering. But I went past the pool, and when you're younger, man, stuff looks gigantic.
I
It's
know.
so much
I
big.
know.
I went there, man, and it was this little rinky-dink pool, and I'm like, "What the heck is this?" But it had a deep end, right? It had a deep end, and I'm like, "Man, that's where my dad used to have me hold on." So I used to hold on to his back, and
Wow.
he'd be like, "As soon as you run out of air, you let go and you doggy paddle up."
Yeah.
Right? So I learned how to hold my breath, and I learned how to doggy paddle, and then from there, I learned how to do the proper strokes, and even how to. A lot of people don't know this, but you need to cup your hands.
I
So
know. I know. That
yeah,
was something I learned
yeah,
later in my
yeah, man. So as a child, yeah, I'd have to say learning how to swim because it's actually saved my life before. So yeah.
Wow, nice. And if you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
Great question. For one thing, it would be uh, uh, helping you think outside the box.
You definitely do, bro. That's perfect. That's perfect. You definitely do.
Yeah.
And what would you say your least favorite job to date would be?
Oh man, I had a few different jobs. I had
Just
a few
one,
different jobs.
your least
I,
favorite, your
I
least
was gonna
favorite.
say that was like a close tie right there. Yeah. So it would have to be And it's funny because I love doing it for my own, but washing cars. Washing cars.
Yeah.
I like selling cars more than I like washing them. I'll tell you that. And I'm more of an
But
introvert, believe it or not.
you,
Go ahead.
you said you like washing your own car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
washing my own car, I can do. I love it. I can do that. You know,
What?
I can get really particular about my car. Even get down with a Q-tip in the vents, man. You know, detail it
For
myself. I
real?
don't mind. Yeah, I'll do
I
that.
hate it.
But
I hate
yeah,
it.
but when it comes to like my first job, I worked at a car wash. Actually, I told you I was in a car
Wow.
dealership, right? So yeah, I worked at a car wash. And I was scrubbing cars. Like when they had a delivery, hey, delivery coming
Wow.
by, bring. You hear
Wow.
it come through the bay, and yeah, we have to wash
Like,
cars.
hey, this ain't even in my description, man.
Yeah, man. No. So yeah, it takes me back. But the cool thing about it is now, from learning how to do that the proper way, you know, starting from the top and then going down from the bottom, and doing on the sides and everything like that, I
Your
learned
girl
hose
loves you now.
control and yeah, and I'll go and I'll wash my own car and it'll be done like this, and I'll be like, wait a second, like
Wow.
it won't even feel like it's work, you know.
Yeah, yeah, for
So yeah,
sure.
it's pretty fun,
Nice.
man. Yeah.
All right, and last question. What are 3 books you'd recommend to my audience and why?
Great question. Great question. Okay. So 3 books. I love business books. I love self-help books. Okay. Um, First things first, depending upon your niche, it doesn't matter whatever your niche is. I would go with Think and Grow Rich. Okay. So Think and Grow Rich is definitely one.
For
Um,
sure.
Number 2 would be How to Win Friends and Influence People.
For sure.
Okay. If you guys are in sales, these 2 books are going to help you tremendously. And then um, the third book, I give you guys a treat. I'd go with The Science of Getting Rich.
I've read that.
Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, The
Yep.
Science of Getting Rich, and that's a really fun book. It breaks a lot of stuff down and definitely helps you think outside the box for sure. So yeah,
Nice. Now, one
definitely.
last one. I'm sorry, but
Okay.
I'm in this to inspire, you know, especially the youth, right? I'm a father myself. I've always, even before the kids, I wanted to coach and things like that,
Sure.
and just
Sure.
be around kids, right? Um, what's one thing you would say to somebody who's maybe 15, 16, 17 in high school that maybe wants to do what you do?
Okay. Great question. Yeah. So I would say learn from the top. Okay. I forget who said it, but I want to say, never mind. I'll probably get the name wrong or whatever else. But there's a saying that you should stand on the shoulders of giants. Okay.
Yep.
And think about what that means for a second. Okay. Because if you're standing on a giant's shoulders and the giant's walking barefoot, who feels the pain?
The giant.
Yeah. The giant feels the pain, and you learn from their mistakes, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, for instance, somebody was before you and they made a ton of mistakes. Why not learn from their mistakes so you don't have to repeat them?
Yep.
You know,
For sure.
so never take advice from somebody who's in a field that isn't where you want to be.
For
Okay,
sure.
always
For
go with
sure.
the people that are where you want to be or where you want to get to. You know,
That's
because
gold.
a person who's making 100,000 a year can't teach you how to make 1 million. You
And there's
see?
always levels. There's always
Yeah,
levels, right?
exactly.
I'm a big believer that the person that took you to the 100K won't take you to the million.
No. You actually, and I'll tell you, you know, Ty Lopez actually. See, we know we know who Ty Lopez is, right? So he actually said it one time. He said, you know, if you really want to have some at least an iota of success, you have to aim for 90% higher than what you actually achieve. So if you're aiming for 100K a year, then you want to be trying to aim for 1 million because you'll make 10% of what you're aiming at. Okay. So if
Exactly.
you want to make, you know, 10 million, then aim for 100 million. And even if you
Exactly.
land at 10 million, you'll still be pretty damn comfortable, you know?
For sure.
So
Well,
you'll be
guys,
okay. Yeah.
that was gold. That was gold, guys. So definitely one for the books. Again, guys, you can make your own website, but there's a lot of things behind it that I promise you. I mean, just try to make your own website, and I promise you, you're gonna have to call this guy because that's where I'm at right now. All right, guys. So Troy, it was a pleasure, man.
Pleasure.
Thank you for coming on here. You dropped so much knowledge. that he's probably going to bill me for it later, but whatever, guys. All right. All right, man. Take
All
care.
right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right, y'all. So there you go. There you have it. So much knowledge. Go ahead and rewind this. And again, if you are looking for health insurance, you don't like your plan, or you think you're paying too much, go ahead and give me a call. We can take care of you. And till next time.